Hey guys, so it's time for episode 6 of Wandavision. Now this weekend is kind of special because it's Valentine's Day, so I have my Valentine's Day chocolates ready and a nice glass of champagne to enjoy while watching this episode because, you know, it's three of my favorite things in the world: Marvel, champagne, and chocolate. So let's jump right into the episode, let's see where episode 5 left off, and go from there. So we know Wanda is kind of already getting tired of hiding her powers, and her and Vision are definitely kind of starting to come at odds now. We know Vision is starting to find out that something's not right in this world, and that Wanda might have a big part of that, and that's just kind of really bringing a lot of conflict to their relationship. Speaking of conflict, Scarlet Witch has kind of already come into conflict with Sword, and essentially kicked their ass. Now we're kind of seeing the kind of, I feel, crumbling of the world that she's kind of created. But right now everything is kind of being just thrown off because Quicksilver / Pietro has arrived. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm so excited. I have to make sure not to drop this. This is actually like crystal. And it's kind of like on a stool that I'm sitting on right now. So yeah. Hope it doesn't break. I mean, they just did such a good job with these opening credits. Maybe it's because I'm like a child of the 90s, and most of the 90s TV shows had opening credits. But I love these, and I love that it just changes every time depending on the era. Again, it should be Aaron Taylor Johnson, but we're giving them a moment. So this is apparently the episode where Scarlet Witch is in her actual Scarlet Witch original uniform. So most people maybe know about Scarlet Witch and Vision already. They don't know much about Scarlet Witch's kids, Tommy and Billy. They both become members of the Young Avengers, so Wiccan's costume right now resembles very much his costume in the comic books as well. I've told myself one day I'm gonna go as Wiccan to Comic-Con, and I just haven't done it yet. I'm not. Oh, she looks so good! Well played, Sokovian fortune teller. I like how they kind of explained that off. Not a good Halloween. You probably suppressed a lot of the trauma. That, I think, is a big hint right there. Suppressing a lot of the trauma. I just love all this homage to their original costumes. It's so well done. They're so cute. Me gusta mucho.
No, that's not what you're supposed to. Well, you have to be there.
That's not what you're supposed to do. It is interesting because I did feel at the beginning of the series, she actually had control over Vision and could kind of actually make him do the things that she wanted to do. But did she really? Or is she actually losing that ability to control him? Or is something else happening? Because right there she's like, you're not supposed, like, she thinks he was supposed to stay there and do the Halloween with her. If you're not really into the comic books, Quicksilver's costume right here is actually an homage to his, I believe it's X-Factor costume. Because when Quicksilver was first introduced as a villain, his costume was more kind of like a green color. And he didn't really get that blue color until I believe it was X-Factor. And then he was always kind of drawn in the comic books with these kind of like two little hair, kind of like always like swooped back. So that's why his hair is kind of all like that.
Use the last 5 years as an excuse to be a coward. Why didn't anyone tell me the plan?
I love you, Kat Dennings. You're amazing. I like how they're calling attention to it. She knows he looks different. She knows it's not right. I think that's also a shout out because Aaron Taylor Johnson was actually in a film called Kick-Ass. Also a superhero movie. Alright, Marvel, I have a request. Obviously, Elizabeth Olsen can pull off a frickin' headdress. I really, really, really need you to give her an MCU costume that incorporates a headdress of sorts because I like it. I think it looks epic on her. She looks so good.
I thought Is there something I can do for you, Wanda? Want something changed?
So many of these people are in the know. Like, do you want something changed? Like, how aware are they? What do you think's Crooked Vision? That's creepy. Oh. He's crying.
Snacked on Yo Magic, bro.
Yo Magic.
Yo Magic, the snack for survivors.
It's a bit dark, in a good way. I find that kind of interesting because we know these commercials seem to have obviously something to do with Wanda. And it's called Yo Magic. And he's trying to open the cup of the Yo Magic. And he dies. I mean, he turns a freaking skeleton. So, I still think Mephisto has something to do with this. Because in the comic books, Mephisto is kind of like a Satan embodiment of evil. He's not Satan per se, but visually kind of looks like Satan. But he's essentially kind of like a dark evil sorcerer and stuff. And has a lot of connection with Scarlet Witch. Which I think we'll get to in a little bit. But I think it's like Yo Magic and he wants to open it and it basically dies. So I think there's like some connection with like Wanda and her powers and death and, you know, using magic is kind of like taking its toll. So, and well done. I see you, Disney. The Incredibles and The Parent Trap. Both Disney films playing at that cinema. I see you.
What happened to your accent?
What happened to yours? I knew you needed me.
Uncle Pete, guess what?
He has powers now! So knowing the comics, I knew they would eventually get powers, but I'm actually surprised that they're getting them so young. Because I knew Tommy gets powers at Quicksilver, and Wiccan, Billy, eventually gets powers that are similar to the Scarlet Witch. But they're getting them pretty young right now. I'm surprised. Like, why aren't they moving? Is it just because, like, one is, like, losing control of the power? Like, something else is, like, I think taking place here. Because she's mentioned already that she's not doing everything.
Are you waiting for something?
So, like, why is it, like, at the edge that the kind of reality she's created is starting to break down? Going with the idea that Agnes is actually Agatha Harkness in the comic books, this scene right here makes me think we're right about that. Because, again, Agatha Harkness is a witch in the comic books. And what is Agnes dressed as? A witch.
Am I dead? Dead.
Yes, please, calm down.
Oh, what is she doing? What is she doing? Agnes, like... Ah! Now, that's a street Wanda told her kids not to go past. But Vision doesn't give up.
My way back into the hex will be here in an hour.
Oh, I'm really hoping it's Reed Richards. I'm really, really hoping. And I'm hoping it's John Krasinski.
The energy inside has rewritten your cells on a molecular level twice.
In the comic books, Monica Rambeau has superpowers. Now, I don't know much about her character per se in the comic books. Not necessarily like how she got the powers. I just know she has them. And she actually was in Avengers, I believe, for quite some time.
It's changing you.
So when they brought her into the show, I was quite surprised that she was actually human. I thought they were kind of going to like... Not necessarily she was pretending to be human, but I thought it was going to be kind of like a little mini reveal that she had powers. But lo and behold, she's just human. Right there. They've opened the window for her to get her powers. Because by going through the barrier of Wanda's hex, it's changing her DNA. One would say mutating her DNA. So I do think we will be seeing Monica Rambeau get her powers courtesy of the Scarlet Witch. But that's not even the takeaway that I can just like get from that. But
There's something big here, something that can help us. I know it.
Don't think it's wrong.
I'm impressed.
Elizabeth Olsen is so good. Oh my god, I was about to cry. But then I didn't cry because, you know, Quicksilver with bullet holes. He's gonna go through. Oh! He's disintegrating. Billy just got his powers! Because Vision is dead in the real world, so he's essentially dying again. Oh my god, third time. He doesn't have one of his powers in the real world to keep him alive. Ooh.
Don't sweat it, sis. It's not like your dead husband can die twice.
love Wanda. Is she gonna teleport him? Oh, Darcy. I wouldn't mind Darcy getting superpowers, but I don't believe Darcy is someone actually in the comic books. I think it's a new character to the MCU films, so I'm intrigued to see what they'll do with her. No! I need more! Oh! I mean, that was such a cool shot at the end with just her eyes and the power glow. I, for a second there, thought she was going to teleport to save Vision. But she actually expanded her reality warping hex to encompass him to save him. I think they are going to do it. I think they really are planning to use Wanda to bring the X-Men into the MCU. Because they're kind of laying that groundwork there. They've already mentioned with Monica that by going through the hex multiple times, it is kind of rewriting her genetic structure. So I think that'll explain why she gets powers. I don't necessarily mean or think that everyone who's within the hex will get superpowers. I think it's because Monica's gone in and out, so that'll explain her specifically. But they have kind of stated that apparently her powers do kind of have the ability to have that effect on individuals. And in the comic books House of M, at the very end of the series, Wanda / the Scarlet Witch whispers no more mutants and actually takes away like 99.9% of the mutant population in the comic books, only leaving a select few mutants. So I think the MCU is going to do a reverse no more mutants and actually have Scarlet Witch be the reason why there are mutants. And they kind of mentioned when she was talking to Pietro, when he was like, how did you do all of this? And she, of course, doesn't know. But she's mentioning how, she just felt alone and was like so low. So I think that might have a play with her creating mutants so she doesn't feel so alone anymore as someone who has such vast powers. Oh! I need more. Oh, yes. So again, Agatha Harkness was dressed as a witch. So I do think that helps the theory that she is Agatha Harkness. In the comic books, Wanda uses her powers to have twins. Not just like the series, but essentially what she's doing in the series. She uses her magic, she magically gets twins and pregnant by Vision. It turns out, though, in the comics, that the twins were actually pieces or fragments of the soul of Mephisto, again, who I think is probably the overarching big bad in this show, and who'll probably also carry on into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Mephisto then, comes around, tells Wanda, actually, it's pieces of my soul, and he reabsorbs the kids into him, essentially killing them. And of course, Wanda does not take that well. She's already suffered so much tremendous loss. It just kind of throws her over the edge, but to save her from any more pain because of it, Agatha mind wipes Wanda so she doesn't remember any of it. Of course, that doesn't last forever. Wanda eventually finds out, and that leads to a different comic book storyline called Avengers Disassembled, where Scarlet Witch goes bat crazy and kind of kills some Avengers. So it's just kind of like a culmination of her sadness of all the things that she's lost and her power just growing like completely out of control, that she doesn't do it as a villain. It's just she doesn't even know what's happening. Like she's just so dissociated from reality itself that's how it all happens, and Avengers end up getting killed. So I'm definitely wondering if they're going to go that route in the show, or if they're just going to kind of skip the whole mind wipe thing, because I'm not ready for her to go completely evil yet. Or I'm not ready for Scarlet Witch to have a complete mental breakdown just yet. I want them to milk it so much more, because it's just setting up so well. And I'm also wondering now, is Pietro, is that really like Pietro? Like, is that like maybe like Mephisto in disguise or something like, or whoever the maybe hidden villain is, they're using the guise of Pietro to kind of like control Wanda. I need more. I can't wait till next Friday. What do we have? 3 more episodes? Oh my god. I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna end on a cliffhanger. I've heard rumors that there's a bonus episode. I've heard rumors that as you get more towards the end, the episodes become more kind of like an hour long. I mean, I hope both rumors are true. We shall see. Ah, so good. So good. Well, thank you guys again for watching another episode of my WandaVision reaction videos. Have a good one, and I will talk at you guys later. Bye.